trail running, it really means learning from nature. Learning so much every time that I do a race, or if I just go on a run, on a training, that I know is gonna bring me peace. For me, running is bring peace to myself. I was born in Bolivia, South America, the heart of South America, and I grew up in La Paz, which is the highest capital city of the world, about 12,000 feet elevation. My parents from Bolivia. I came to US back in 2001. I started running when I was 35, thanks to my brother. One time he came to visit to New York and he was running in the park and he told me, "Do you know you have a track there?" And I was like, "What? A track? What is that?" So he took me there and we were just like, okay, let's start running. And then he actually inspired my dad in a way. I mean, encouraged him to start running. And he was 65. And I didn't take it seriously. I just love to go out, like run 10 minutes maybe. But every time that I would talk to my dad, he was telling me like, "Oh, I ran these 10 kilometers and 15 kilometers. I was like, "Wow, Dad, but you're 65. That's amazing." So that really inspired me. My first marathon was actually here in Washington, D.C., the Marine Corps. And it was great. I was like, I'm not gonna do this again. It was so painful. But 3 days later, I was like, oh, I want to do it again. One time I was talking to my dad, and he told me that when he was 8 years old, he used to go to the nearest town with my grandfather to get food and everything. And they used to go like 50 kilometers walking. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, "Dad, you were just 8 years old. I cannot believe that." So I actually started trail running and ultra running just because of that. Because I wanted to experience what was 50 kilometers for an 8-year-old versus me that was like 37 maybe. So I told my dad, "You know what? I'm gonna do it." And he told me, I'm gonna tell you more when you finish." So I did it, I finished, and then the next time I called him and I was like, "Tell me more, you know." Unfortunately, I was never able to talk to him again because he got a stroke. He was not able to speak, to talk, to walk, to do anything. So I never knew what he was going to tell me about those 50 kilometers. So it just, it was really hard for me. So I just started doing 50 kilometers because that was the last time that my dad mentioned that he was going to tell me about. So every time that I would finish an ultra or a marathon, I would bring the medal and tell him, "Hey, Dad, you were with me," and he would just smile. I did 21 marathons and 45 ultras. The longest distance I did is 75 miles, about 4 or 5 times, which is 120 kilometers races. And one of my goals is to finish 10 races of 100 kilometers before I turn 50. So I'm running out of time, but I already completed 9, so one more.